Are you ready?
Today we're going to talk about the Blackmagic Cinema Camera 2.5K. This was a groundbreaking digital cinema camera when it was first introduced in 2012. It marked Blackmagic Design's entry into the camera market, a company previously known only for video capture and post-production tools. Priced at under $3,000, it was a disruptor in the industry, offering features and image quality previously reserved for much more expensive cinema cameras. With the ability to record 12-bit RAW, filmmakers could now color grade and recover highlights in a way that rivaled much more expensive cameras. The look was cinematic, and the costs, practically disruptive. Before 2012, the idea of owning a digital cinema camera, one capable of shooting RAW with 13 stops of dynamic range, seemed like a dream for most indie filmmakers. That is until Blackmagic Design shocked the industry with their first ever camera. This camera, often called the BMCC 2.5K, seemed to come out of nowhere. Known for their color grading software, DaVinci Resolve, Blackmagic wasn't even a camera company at the time. But what they built was groundbreaking. It has 13 stops of dynamic range. It has the ability to record in ProRes, DNx HD, and 2.5K RAW cinema DNG files. And it does record onto a pretty specific handful of SATA drives, 2.5-inch SATA SSD drives. So if you're interested in one of these cameras, I would go to Blackmagic's website and find a list of recommended drives. It also has a built-in touchscreen monitor with focus peaking, waveform monitor, and audio level monitoring. The screen is also used to navigate the very friendly camera settings menu. On the left side of the camera, you'll find a link jack for remote stop and start, an 1/8-inch headphone jack, and what seems like kind of an unusual choice, a pair of 1/4-inch audio inputs. Not the standard XLR inputs you might expect, and there's no phantom power. It has HD SDI output for external monitoring and recording to an external device. Thunderbolt output that was originally intended to connect to your laptop and would display Blackmagic's Ultrascope software for on-set waveform monitoring and apparently live color correction. And at the bottom there's an AC power jack as well. On the right side of the camera is where the SSD drives go. There's also a mini USB port on the camera for software updates. And this is also available in either EF mount or micro 4/3 mount. This one happens to be a micro 4/3 mount. And when Blackmagic announced the camera at NAB, it really was the talk of the show. Nobody expected a software company to beat Red or Canon and Sony at their own game. This camera became one of the most anticipated and hyped releases in indie film history. Early reviews praised the cinematic image, the filmic dynamic range, and the RAW workflow, all in a compact, affordable body. This camera didn't just make waves, it kind of shifted expectations. Suddenly, filmmakers on a shoestring budget had access to a raw, cinema-grade image, no more 8-bit DSLR compression, no more muddy shadows. This was a camera that demanded a post-production workflow and offered big screen results. The camera also included a free studio version of DaVinci Resolve, which soon became a full-featured post-production platform with color grading tools designed to maximize the camera's 13-stop dynamic range. And within a few years, Blackmagic became a serious player in both hardware and software, challenging legacy manufacturers and paving the way for the Pocket Cinema Camera line and the Ursa series and more. So here are some key specs about this camera. It shoots 2.5K or HD with 13 stops of dynamic range. It records 12-bit RAW cinema DNG files, ProRes HQ, ProRes 422, LT or proxy, and DNx HD. It has a built-in non-removable battery that, when new, had about a 90-minute runtime. Unfortunately, the long-term battery life on these isn't great. On a full charge, this one lasts probably 15 to 20 minutes. So an external battery option is really a must. The raw recording and 13 stops of dynamic range gave it an image quality far above typical DSLRs, and even some professional camcorders at the time. It had a filmic look right out of the box with a deep highlight roll-off and great color gradability. ProRes and DNx HD options offered more manageable file sizes while still delivering great image quality. The solid metal construction made the camera feel premium and durable. It was seen as a DSLR killer by many indie filmmakers.
Let me sleep until tomorrow comes.
Another very cool feature of this camera is its ability to also film in single frame mode. Using the camera's Thunderbolt output to interface with your laptop, you can create stop motion animations while working within the industry standard stop motion app, Dragonframe.
Get me some whiskey and a bucket, a cup of tea, and maybe then.
On the downside, the 5-inch LCD is non-articulating and hard to see in bright daylight. The glass is very reflective. The internal non-removable battery must be charged through the camera jack on the side of the camera. And with no internal NDs, this camera does require the use of external ND filters for proper exposure control during daylight filming. The available recording frame rates are 23.98, 24, 25, 29.97, and 30 frames per second. It also has the ability to do time-lapse recording, though again it doesn't do slow motion. 30 frames per second is the top frame rate in this model. The body is kind of boxy, requiring additional rigging like rails and cages and a viewfinder to be fully functional in production. And again, it had no XLR audio inputs. In spite of the fact that there were no high frame rates, a poor battery life, odd ergonomics, and a smallish 2.5K sensor, the image was stunning. It empowered a new generation of indie filmmakers to chase high-end image quality without a studio budget. And over a decade later, its raw image, unique color science, and historic significance still make it a cult favorite. Do you still own one of these? Or did it launch your journey into filmmaking? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into gear that changed the game, please hit that subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time.